Good morning and a beautiful Thursday to you. Compliments of the season. Hope we are actually feeling the Harmattan period because I am. It's a cold weather. Well, we can't complain because it is Christmas and everybody loves Christmas. Welcome to Atlantic Blowout on Atlantic Television Network. Atlantic Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversation on special interest topics, news, events, and stories through correspondence reports, expert opinion, and stakeholders analysis. Today we will be talking about some few stories, and the first is from the laws Oyo states that Dela Farutumi has another SA filed lawsuit against him in Oyo State. We have that reps set to investigate Nigerian Customs Service, and reps also demands closure of illegal loan apps. And we have that court summons IGP and Nigerian police force over 649 million naira hotel debt. The federal government is to launch whistleblowing platform against bullying. And finally, we have that the national grid collapses 12 times in 2024. We are open for advert placements, booking, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, on Facebook and YouTube, on Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, which is live on our website at www.atlantic.net.work.tv. We will go on a quick break. When we return, we will go into our stories and introduce our guests like always. Do stay with us.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
back and thank you for staying with us. And like I said, we always have amazing guests with us. And today we have our regular. He is Chief Obona Wuke. He is a former House of Rep member, a publisher, and a publisher of Port Harcourt Telegraph. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us again. And Lara will dive right into those stories for today. Firstly, another senior advocate of Nigeria, Debayo Adenikwe-Kun, has filed a lawsuit against human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi at the Oyo State High Court in Ibadan, Oyo State. This is coming amid the ongoing legal battles between Farotimi and another prominent lawyer, Afe Babalola. The magistrate court in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, reserved its ruling and adjourned the bail application of Dele Farotimi to Friday, December 20, 2024. The court summons dated December 9, 2024 demands Farotimi's appearance within 30 days of being served. The court reads, "You are hereby commanded that within 30 days of the service of this writ on you, you do cause an appearance to be entered for you in an action as a suit of Adebayo Adenikwe-Kun, SAN. The summons further states that if Farotimi does not respond within the given time frame, judgments may proceed in his absence. Adenikwe-Kun, known for his sterling reputation, has remained silent about his reasons for suing Farotimi. While grappling with Adenikwe-Kun's lawsuits, Farotimi remains entangled in a high-profile defamation case filed by Afe Babalola. The defamation trial is being held at the Ado-Ekiti Magistrate Court in Ekiti State on Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Farotimi pleaded not guilty to 14 amended charges against him. Meanwhile, Afe Babalola, another legal heavyweight, insists his defamation claims are legitimate and unrelated to any vendetta. The outcome of these cases could shape not only Farotimi's career, but also the broader fight for freedom of expression in Nigeria. Chief, I know I'm aware that you know about the legal battle that's been on for days. It actually started a long time ago, since November, between Dele Farotimi and Afe Babalola. It's just been a case of something that we don't know yet, but it's been placed on character defamation from the book that Dele wrote. As a human rights activist, he actually wrote about the legal system, saying it's corrupt and whatnot reasons that he gave. And he targeted most of his writing to Afe Babalola. And Afe Babalola took him to it, and then he was invited in November 11th, if I'm not wrong, for questioning that he went for, according to him. And the process has been on and on and on. And then we got that last week he got arrested. They came into his house, took him from Lagos State to Ekiti State, and he's been in detention since then. And then it's just been a back and forth situation with Afe Babalola and Dele Farotimi. And then we're having another SAN claiming that. And he has not said anything. There has not been any reason why he's suing Dele Farotimi. I want to get your thoughts. What do you think is going on here in the legal system? Is it actually true that this human rights activist has a very good reason why he wrote this book because of the same situation? Does it mean what's the word? He has I'm trying to get a word. Does it mean he knows something that they are trying to shut him up from saying, or there's just something in this situation? Because it's just contradictory here.
Now, the issue is that there may be some people who think that freedom of expression is under trial. You may be right. And those who feel that the legal system is conservative and so shouldn't be put in such light, because it has a self-appraised appraisal system that enables it where there are errors to tackle them. Now, but for delay, I think that he probably has more than he can chew at this time.
So he knows too much.
It's not a question. See, the point is this. We have come upon an era where people think that you can open your mouth and talk anyhow because there is freedom of expression.
Okay.
Freedom of expression has qualifications.
Okay.
I say this as a communications person. I read mass communication. Okay. I've been practicing for several years, more than 40 years now. And I know that even if you look at your constitution, it tells you clearly that nothing in this constitution will invalidate, you know, the rules in any democratic society for the protection of public safety, public health, blah, 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 all kinds of things. Now, Dele, you know, belongs to the new group who thinks that there is unlimited freedom. And they can say anything, you know. They have become influencers on social media, and so many. What's critical now is how many followers you are having.
Okay.
But you don't have people follow. Look, after these are some of the great names in the Lagos system.
Yes. Yes.
And you need to, you see, we are taught that in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And for those of us who are in journalism, we know that the word is something that you be careful in terms of use, you know. So if you are talking, if you are let me say diplomat, you are likely to say you won't tell a man that you're a liar, but you can tell him, I'm not struck by the truth of your of your comments. You understand? It shows some, not just some dignity in the way you conduct your conversation, but some way of respecting others. Somebody flash it in your face and think that, oh, we're in a freedom of expression. Freedom of expression.
Do you think that Dele made the statement he made in his book to gain publicity?
Now, look, the purpose of every book is well known to the author. And those of us who read those books read meaning to the books. Okay? So what that means is that now in categorizing his mission, he has said several things that can be interpreted to mean something demeaning. You know, because the law is very clear. You cannot bring down a man's reputation in the eyes of right-thinking men in society. So this is the issue. Now, but whatever happens will be, I believe, regardless of how messy it can become, because you are seeing now, he took on Afe, and then because has come out from nowhere, and there are more sons, great Yoruba names that are coming after him. You know, so you should know, some people are institutions. Now, but let's return to the law. The image of the law is such that, you see, a country such as we do have, we are looking for investment, we are looking for a proper image, and then you come and take a whole mess and place on the judiciary. My brother, there are many things, many implications of what these people are. You see, the last time I said, some people don't have love of country. We may have differences, but we must find ways of targeting them, of dealing with them. You know, it's not a call to, if there's something wrong with the judiciary, that you should hide it. But I believe that the judiciary will come out of this even stronger, because whatever the mess is will be put on the table. And most Nigerians will come to know about it. Do you understand? So, but Dele, this is not the time for Pharaoh to me say that things are easy. It won't be easy.
I actually wanted to make a statement. This Adebayo that put a lawsuit against Dele did not make mention of what Dele actually did. If, because we have that Afe Babalola actually stated his reasons for getting to for suing Dele, that Dele defamed his character.
It doesn't make it suspicious.
Adebayo did not state any reason why he had to sue.
Because the
Dele.
particulars of that suit are in court. Dele will find that in court now. He doesn't need to. You see, you are pandering to public opinion. For those who are interested in public opinion.
Okay.
Now, Adebayo has his right as a person. You sue, even if it's frivolous, to sue him. You know, it is the court that will decide whether that suit is frivolous, whether it has jurisdiction to hear the case, whether it should be something to entertain. But right now, I don't think that the fact that we don't know the particulars of a case filed by Adebayo against Farotimi or whatever his name is sufficient for us to cast aspersions on the intent of that.
Okay, Chief, in as much as you said everybody have rights of speech, we have freedom of speech, we are all free to say what we want to say, but we have to be careful how we deliver these messages because of the character involved in this, like the Affair Babalola that is involved in this situation. Do you think that this human rights activist, Dele, was saying something that he is not sure of? Do you think he just came out to just spoil the names of the stands in his book just to gain publicity, or he actually knows what he's stating? That the legal system is actually corrupt, like he stated.
Now, as it stands, laws say a man is innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
Accordingly, Dele will need to prove that he's not guilty. Now,
he actually pleaded not guilty.
Of course, it's a standard procedure in the court. Nobody goes to court to say I'm guilty.
True.
Now, but the issue here is it's going to be a strong test, not just for expression in Nigeria, but also for the integrity of the judiciary.
Okay.
If Dele feels there are cans of worms in the judiciary, this is his time to pour it on the table. Because a time comes to when you can have a negotiated, if we get to a point where they negotiate, they try to settle outside the court, then it means there are certain things that Dele knew about the judiciary. But as it stands now, your right to expression ends where mine begins. And I think it is something that the younger generation and the Nigerian people must take seriously. That our constitution guarantees freedom. And I can say to you that we are the freest country in terms of expression in Africa. Now, but we shouldn't be in a situation where we can abuse it, where we can malign people simply because you think that you can talk. No, but that's what the courts are there for. If Affair Babalola, with his towering image, had done, you accuse him of fixing decisions in court. And this is a son who parades his trade, does his cases. Now you are calling him a match fixer. That's what it means. So he has enormous influence that he can determine in what direction judgment or justice flows. He will need to prove that.
Okay, thank you very much on your thoughts about that. Moving forward, we have that the House of Representatives has mandated its committees on customs and excise as well as defense to investigate the Nigerian Customs Service over smuggling activities, allegations of complicity and incidents of brutality. The resolution followed a motion by Honorable Sesi Wingan of Lagos on Wednesday during plenary. Honorable Wingan, who cited investigative reports revealing mass smuggling of 2,000 cars, and 6,500 kg of rice through Badagry, allegedly under the watch of custom officers, noted that smuggling undermines local industries, reduces government's revenue and promotes unfair trade practices, while the actions of some custom officers erode public trust and violates their mandates. to assess the role of military personnel in custom patrols and recommend measures to enhance accountability and efficiency within 6 weeks. In a separate motion, Honorable Billy Osawaru raised concerns about one-chance criminal activities in the SC where victims are hypnotized, robbed and assaulted and abandoned. The House urged the Inspector General of Police and security agencies to enhance surveillance as well as apprehend culprits, while mandating banks and fintech operators to cooperate in tracing fraudulent accounts and assisting victims promptly. The House also called on the federal government to shut down illegal loan companies used by criminals and directed the FCT minister to revive Abuja urban mass transit buses to provide reliable transportation services, extending operations to 9:30 p.m. daily.
The House is aware that smuggling has severe economic consequences, including undermining local industries, reducing government revenue, promoting unfair trade practices, and flooding markets with substandard and potentially harmful products. The House is further aware that the actions of some officers within the Nigerian Customs Service contravene its core mandate, erode public trust, and raise concerns about oversight of joint security operations involving military personnel. The House is concerned that despite the presence of multiple checkpoints during the day, small businesses such as rice farmers and poultry producers are unable to compete with the influx of contraband goods, leading to job losses and impoverishment.
The House is concerned that the victims of this despicable act and bank account used for this criminal purpose seem to be difficult to track or trace due to lack of synergy between the security agencies and the banks, and also the bank's unwillingness to help customers and do proper investigation on their own with the excuses of waiting for police extract or affidavit or other requirements that could be frustrating, coupled with the money involved in the process which the victims whose money were stolen may no longer can afford. Mr. Speaker, he has his concerns now of the CBN directive mandating all bank operators to ensure that individual or corporate accounts of every customer are linked to their NIN and BVN, which means every transaction done within and outside the bank could be traced. Mr. Speaker, the House is worried that in most cases, the phone numbers and bank accounts of their victims are used to borrow money from illegal and unauthorized loan apps of the companies in Nigeria, thereby incur the humongous debt, which their victims must offset afterwards.
While the actions of some custom officers erode public trust and violate their mandates. Please, sir, I would love to ask you, what's your thoughts about this situation coming from the House of Assembly and Reps, about the Nigerian Customs Services that are supposed to protect the borders of Nigeria, smuggling goods? What's your thoughts about
I think it just comes under the oversight function of the House, and as its mandate, to ensure that organizations, institutions that operate within the confines of our boundaries live up to the obligation. Now, of course, smuggling is not restricted to Nigeria. It's all over the world, and of course, it's also not in Nigeria that you find corrupt officials.
Okay.
They're all over the place. But fishing them out, making sure that we have a system that works, that we protect our economy, is something that nobody can question.
Okay.
Now, everybody knows, regardless of what is playing out, that we have perhaps in this country the best variety of rice. Now, and we are not going to suffer from, we don't know how those smuggled bags of rice were stored, what was used in storing them, how long they've been in storage. But you can be sure that on the home front, that the rice that you're seeing is fresh. All right? Now, when we allow smuggling, it means that we are running the industries of an unseen country. It means that we are stifling growth at the home front. It also means that, of course, we are likely to lose more when it comes to balance of payments, of course, in the economic sector. That the amount of money you have in storage in your foreign reserves will deplete. So it's a whole combination, and anyone, whether a custom officer, a police officer, a military officer, who is involved in shortchanging Nigeria, unfortunately, we are not like the Chinese. They should be shot.
Okay.
Because you see, we are beginning to allow too many loopholes in this country. We raise alarm, and then nothing happens. So everybody carries on. You know?
So we just raise the alarm
and so nothing.
About it,
so
and then it continues.
now there should be consequence for actions.
Okay.
You know, and I think the House is, I've been there before, and I understand the intent. Perhaps there'll be people who think the House is trying to harass customs. I don't think so. Now, people must be held accountable. And even for any other purpose, people must be made to work. Now, and I also don't think that dealing with the semi-border is the only issue. There are miles and miles of unpatrolled borders in the north. The House should do something about it. Okay, you can see what is going on, because even porous borders are associated with illegal immigration. So we should, yes, and every country right now is beginning to do what it can. Look at Great America, who used to talk about the American dream. They are saying, don't come and dream again. Just stay in your country. Okay, so we need to do what we need to do, and because I'm beginning to worry about creating loopholes for Japan.
Well, I wanted to ask, these customs officials, personnel, there were cases that most of them actually intentionally, at night, they allow this illegal goods to be smuggled in. And sometimes we see cases where the custom officials have apprehended people that are carrying illegal goods into the country. And most times they keep them. My question is about this rice situation. Do they sell them to be consumed to to us to be consumed? There's also a health deficit in this situation, and some of them get this for money benefits and all of that. So there's a whole lot going on here, so the rest to investigate the situation is actually a true thing to do. But like you said, other borders should be associated in this case, and they should not be creating loopholes. But I actually wanted to ask, do you think that this investigation will be conducted appropriately, like it's supposed to be, and not something, like you said, like something that should be done haphazardly and be left, and let the whole situation continue?
Now, I think that the House is well equipped when it comes to carrying out this mandate. Most of those who are in the National Assembly have different backgrounds.
Yes.
Okay, and it means also that the level of exposure is high. People wake up and say, what are they doing in the National Assembly? I just laugh. Every time you're hearing, they're buying cars, and you just laugh. Because government must run. Okay, but let's focus on the issue. I think the House has the capacity, if it does want to do,
implement this.
to investigate.
Investigate
Now,
and
it only can invite officials of custom service and all related agencies, including the DSS, which probably carries out intelligence functions, you know, to come tell them what they know about what's going on our borders. Now, but you see, this thing been several years old, okay? Those who know customs very well know that a lot of lobby takes place, you know, for those who want to go work at the borders, those who want to patrol the waterways. Because that's, in quotes, that's where the money is made. Okay, custom men are rich, custom men are rich.
That's how, where they make money.
That's where the money comes from.
Illegal men.
Of course. So, and we're a country that worships money, you know, and then because you get the money anyway. So you do Yahoo, it's welcome. You do ritual and collect somebody's spare parts and make money, it's welcome. All kinds of things, you know. But the good thing is that some people are asking questions. They're knocking on the door and say, open this door. We want to see what's behind. And I think it's in the national interest that we conduct our affairs, we protect our economy, and then raise the level. Because you see, people are supposed to be role models. Now, if your role models are corrupt, if your role models don't have any integrity, then what are we going to bequeath to the younger ones? What are they going to learn? Okay? You go to, the other day we were discussing secondary school, people are collecting money from students and ask small boys, tell your parents, bring money.
Bring money.
And then by the time they leave primary school and go to secondary school, they have their mind made up that corruption is part of life. So this is the thing.
It's a continuous
It's a continuum, and then we must deal with it. Of course. You see, the only thing that we are not doing in this country is not as if you don't have all the laws that you need to deal with if circumstances are here. But the will to drive it, that's the issue. And nepotism is a crazy thing. Somebody will just say, this man and my brother, and I live, and others don't steal their own. You understand? So we have a situation in this country where Nigeria was saying, look, hey, we can't take that nonsense in Niger. Stop it. We won't engage with a government that has abandoned democracy. And some people in this country were telling us that those people across the border were their brothers. So you ask yourself, what? We are talking about national interest here, Nigeria's interest. And some people living in Nigeria, they are telling us that those people across the border, when we close the border, we are their brothers. So where is your loyalty to the country? That's the question I'm asking.
Finally, I have not really gotten your thoughts about this. This Nigerian Customs Service personnel harass people. I've not had a first-hand experience about this harassment and how the
because you're not a smuggler.
About this whole thing goes. But it's actually a thing for concern and all of that. And aside the fact that they smuggle goods, there are other things that are also smuggled. Most of these bandits that pass through the borders into this country, where do they pass from? Who allows them to pass? Because we're supposed to have custom officials, at the borders. So how do they
so we don't mix it up.
Okay, let's not mix
Customs, they are concerned with
goods,
excise duties, and goods that are coming into Nigeria. Immigration department is concerned with who comes into Nigeria. Now, but all of them, because they work at the border, they ought to work in synergy. Because through those borders, through those rice bags, are guns brought into the country, bullets brought into the country.
But we see situations where they say, oh, we unsealed a package, let me use a bag of cement with guns in them, and all of that, whatnot.
Even these days, we smuggle dollars in.
Yeah, and we see videos that, we unraveled or opened a package that they had cocaines that were smuggled in from the border, some from the immigration and whatnot. And the thing, my question here is, these things that were smuggled from the borders through the custom. You talked about the immigration. Most of them actually pass through them, you know, and all of that situation that go on. My question is, these people that are involved, what do they do with these things that are smuggled in?
Well, I think the whole thing is driven by commerce, driven by business,
okay,
and the edge to make enormous wealth. Okay, but I think we should draw attention to the real issue, that the more we depend on foreign goods, the more we deny our country the right to develop. Because we need to develop, become great manufacturing people,
okay,
great industrialists, you know, and then because we have resources too. Now, you see, these 10%ers, that's the way I like to describe them, who bring goods. They bring goods in. Then somebody comes and says, look, madam, I know where you can get 2,000 bags of rice, but you need to give me 5%.
And
Trader, I know where you can sell your rice.
Okay.
Give me 5%.
Okay.
You know, those 10%ers, they are, you know, for just connecting two ends, they make money.
Okay.
You know, so there are many things that motivate those who bring these things. The ones who want to break the law, they know the law does not accept such imports. Everything on the ban list is what Nigeria doesn't need at this time.
But they still allow them
Now,
in.
you see, and then you point again, you see, when you go and do this trade abroad, you think that because you brought money, but it affects our foreign exchange reserves. That's the point I'm making. Okay. Because when they are balancing the books, that's when you know the involvement for your country. Somebody says, which one will be a problem? I may go import. Yes, now you go import. But when the transaction is fully followed, you will know where a country becomes involved as a result of the transactional attitude of its citizens. You know, so I think that clearly this is one of the best moves I think that the National Assembly has made. You know, to
and
draw.
The question, that question I asked about what they do with these goods that were smuggled in, the National Assembly also have to make sure that these goods are not kept in custody of customs service, because I've had a situation where I think in Kebbi State, if I'm not mistaken, about palliatives that were given, Nasarel, so I'm trying to get the state right, through customs service that were sent to people with displacement, internal displaced persons,
okay, these IDP people, yes.
But the goods, these palliatives, did not get to them. You know, so it's a thing. That's why I asked, what do they do with these things that comes into their custody? The house also needs to investigate.
What you know is that which is reported, because there are some that are not reported.
Okay.
That one which is not reported is for the customs people now.
So like that one we see the video.
That one, okay. Let's not sound like we know before because it's an era for suing people.
No, actually know.
No, they are allegedly.
Okay.
They are allegedly.
Okay.
They dip their hands inside too.
Okay.
But the thing is this very clearly. Once it is recorded, knowledge information is kept on it. Those goods, sometimes they are auctioned. Some of the times those goods are burnt.
Okay.
They do a show, public show of it. They burnt this, they've done this, they've done that.
Okay.
Now, that's also to tell you that if you are putting your money in the wrong channel, well, you're going to waste it.
Okay.
But this is our country, you know. It won't be easy. It won't be easy. There is a generation of, you know, we talk in terms of corruption. Those first people who struck in 1960 and said that they overthrew a government called corruption. We have had corruption-driven administrations thereafter, from the 60s until now. You understand? Even the so-called correctors, the military people, ended up being corrupt. So there's something wrong with it's endemic. It's in us. We shouldn't be, because they say if you point a finger, then they should be pointing at you. So it is time that we told ourselves the truth. Because you see, yes, we need to create. You see, if we continue to support smuggling, then we will be taking away jobs that young people should do. I was lucky when I was, when I finished secondary school. I was barely 17 years. I had the opportunity to work, you know. At 33, I had the opportunity of having a wife. Now, I look at these young ones. You ask them to go to school, they went to school. They're out of school, no work. You know, they're living with their parents. So you train your son, your daughter, your son and your daughter are living in your house and eating 3-4-7. They are not contributing anything. You know, and then the system is running like nothing is happening. So, you know, so this is why I'm thinking that we need, don't look at smuggling as something that is a pastime. It's a danger to our economy. And because it doesn't encourage local manufacturing, local production, it's something we must stop. Because these kids that we are raising, they must work now. If they are not working, they will have a problem. You know? And they say, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. So what are you going to do? Your daughter is waking up in the morning, she has no job, but she's changing shoes and trousers. So how are you going to explain that? So those are the things, you know. But I think we should hear Nigeria. Okay. No matter what has happened, Nigeria is still a better country to live in. Yeah,
well, thank you very much, Chief, on that. Thank you so much on your thoughts about that. Moving forward, the House of Representatives has called for the closure of illegal loan platforms used by One Chance operatives to extort money from victims. The resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by Billy Osawaru during plenary on Wednesday. The lawmakers also urged the Nigerian police, banks, and fintech operators like OPay and MoneyPoint to prioritize cases of One Chance operations or kidnappings reported to them. While moving the motion, Osawaru described the activities of One Chance operatives as heinous, adding that their actions have left victims in a dire state, subjecting them to severe torture and emptying their bank accounts. The lawmaker further stated that banks are often reluctant to assist complaints on the police report until police reports are provided. The motion was adopted unanimously without debate. Also coming from the House, we have gotten I've been hearing about this case too. I've actually noticed a situation where a lady we were talking. She just received a phone call and they were asking her, call this number. We sent a number to you. Please, can you call it back again? And then she did, and they actually made like 3 different withdrawals from her account at 3 different occasions, at the same time. And in space of 20 minutes, she lost, this thing happened like 8 years ago, and she lost close to like 400K right in front of me. This lady did not come to work for a very long time. You know, and this is a continuous process that has been going on and all. They say, oh, we sent this to you, please resend it. You know, and then they use most of this loan apps to do most of these things. And it's been on and on. Sometimes they use it to track people, kidnap them, and whatnot. And it's just been a troubling situation. And then the House has called for the closure of this loan apps. Do you think this is a good direction that has been taken by the reps?
First, you will say that life is all a risk. You will say that business is all a risk. And honestly, we are emerging into an era where digital platforms have become real issues. Now, one thing about the internet, you can find everything.
True.
You are looking for knowledge, you will find it. You want to carry out scams, it gives you the opportunity. Now, and are you not so there will be no need for cyber policing at this time? You know, so frankly, you know, those who do these things play on your emotions. Okay, you are sitting down. Somebody says you belong to a chat group. That there will be a chat at 8 p.m. in the evening. Please enter this code. Good luck to you if you enter the code now. So you call it One Chance, but you are also part of the chance.
You created the chance yourself.
Yes. You know, somebody calls you, look, oh, there's a business in Bonny. I'm an engineer. I'm working for Shell. And please do this contract. I think you, and then you hurriedly begin to you engage. The banks are warning you clearly that they don't ask you for your details online. So please don't engage, because they know that things are happening. They too are working their own ends, trying to make sure that the exploitation of those loopholes to a large extent limited. So here we are. I think that yes, there may be some of these firms, some of these apps that are in operation, they are not properly policed, okay, and that can be used to empty you. So I think again here, the House is setting a good standard. People just think that lawmakers don't do any job now, but I'm glad that just this morning you can see, at least from the point of view of the House, what the House stands for, you know. And honestly, these businesses that you talk about, most of them are registered under our laws, which means that those who register these businesses that come back to haunt us or become platforms for dealing with us don't do due diligence. Because you, of course, if you tie an agreement properly, it will make the operator understand that if something like this happens using your platform, that you are liable under the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I think the whole thing will just have to be looked at comprehensively, because of course, if there are people acting under the framework of the law, manipulating loopholes in the law, then it means that the law must be fixed. And there again, it comes back to the National Assembly, because they need to do stuff, the amendments to some of the rules of engagement, so that we know that we are protecting the Nigerian people. Now, frankly, there are people who work now using the internet. They don't need to be in offices. And they are doing great work. They are not cheats, they are not criminals. There are the ones they call Yahoo, you know. They do all kinds of things, you know. So that's it, you know. But the law is a law, to the extent that it guarantees that all of us live in peace. And those people who are mandated, whether they are policemen, whether they are lawmakers, judiciary, must make sure that all those who the law catches up with are dealt with. Because you see, if they get off the hook, you are asking other people who see those people now as role models to follow that path, and they won't blame anyone.
Chief, I wanted to ask, you said the law has to be put into place, and the law is the law, it has to be obeyed. Most of those loan apps have actual different means and all of that, but it has aided. I don't feel it's being monitored. Yes.
I won't even dare it.
Yes, they say that, you know, I'm not saying that it's actually a good thing. I don't know why they say that, because it was mentioned in the story. You know, some say because it's not monitored. I will not make that mistake, you know, of doing that. But I want, they actually have good reasons why they have put that for loan reasons, you know. But we have the bad ones that want to spoil the reason. Do you think the closure is actually a good step that has been taken from the House, because it aids, like I said, the financial constraints of Nigerians?
I think we need to separate Paul from Barnabas, separate the wheat from the chaff. Of course, there are people who are doing illegal business. Those people should be shut down. Also, people who are doing great business, you know. Now, when you talk about these online loans, even the loan companies themselves are being scammed by fast-thinking young Nigerians. You see them publish the names of people saying that, look, they collected money from them because and have not paid. So they want the world to know that so person borrowed money, you know, because it's a lot of people don't understand what they are doing. From the time you give them your details, they have almost everything about you.
True.
Almost everything. So they know your contacts, they can send them messages on you, and of course, they can track you, you know. But I think that if you are asking for more stringent measures, you know, to control the operations of these organizations, is welcome. because we cannot operate a system that just anything goes. Nobody does that now. No country that is serious does that. Okay, and so we are talking about this money point, all of it. Well, if you, in terms of speed, if you are transferring money, you'll be shocked how fast it is.
Yes.
Excuse me, you go to the shops and then you are paying. You can see the speed with some of these normal banking institutions. They are what do you call them? They are POS, very slow.
Okay.
But these ones like money, what do you call it? Money point, pay and all. You see speed, the thing runs. Now, but the thing is, now many people are scared that one day they'll just fold up. I was young, and you know when you are talking about it, I was just laughing. When I was working many years back, there was this Umana thing, Umana, in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
I climbed the pole, threw my money in, they threw it back at me, I kept on struggling. 2 weeks later, boom, everything is gone. Now, you know this quick fix, quick search for money.
Like the MMM situation.
You know, some people tell you things is working, they pay me, they pay me. Okay, fine.
Those
first people who come are used as showcase. Then the rest of us who go in full speed to go and benefit from it, we are the losers.
Well, how do you recognize this illegal law on apps? How do you know that this at this point this is not the right app? How do you recognize the illegal loan apps? How do you for the reasons of viewers? How will they? Or what do you think there are moves that they would see and know? Okay, this is going out of the ordinary.
Now, I think that people are raising complaints. And if those people are raising complaints and putting pressure, because it's lobby, they are putting pressure on the National Assembly, lawmakers who represent them, their constituencies, who represent them at the national level, and say, look, this is what is going on. Okay? And of course, these lawmakers live in this country.
And
so they know what is going on.
Okay.
Those judges who will eventually deal with the cases live in this country. They cannot pretend not to know.
Okay.
So there is a system which encourages some level of reportage, and people know what's going on. Whether you are getting it at the parallel, this is about parallel market. So you can also talk about the parallel information market. Okay. Now, or whether you're getting it through real sources. Okay. Information is available on what's going on. But the good thing is that if there is a feedback mechanism, and I think that the National Assembly is acting on that feedback mechanism. Okay. They are getting information. They are asking questions. Those questions are not for the National Assembly. They are questions for ordinary Nigerians who may be victims either of so-called one chance in vehicles in Abuja or in Port Harcourt. They're everywhere. Or those who are victims who are sitting in the Southeast on a Monday basis and saying, sit at home.
Thank you very much, Chief. But we will go on a quick break. When we return, we will continue our stories. Do stay with us, please.
From lines across the ocean to the the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bets on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATM.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Neighbor Division of Bayelsa State High Court on Wednesday ordered the Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun to appear before it within 42 days in connection with the 649 million naira accommodation debt suit. The court presided over by Justice T.Y. Abbasi demanded the appearance of the IGP following the suit filed by Mr. Darus Obenem, the owner of Euphonmin Obenem, Euphonmin Motel in Opunembe, Bayelsa State. The court threatened that failure of the IGP and the two other respondents, the Nigerian Police and the Police Service Commission, to make an appearance personally or through legal representatives, judgments would be entered in their absence. The hotel owner, Obenem, had filed a suit over an alleged refusal of the respondents to settle the accommodation debt incurred by the police SWAT team deployed from August 12, 2023 to October 3, 2024 in Opunembe. The SWAT team deployed to the Opunembe community had allegedly occupied the motel, turning it into their operational base without the due permission of the owners. The SWAT team were allegedly drafted to the area at the request of Timi Bre Silva, former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the governorship flag bearer of APC in the 2023 general elections. We were talking about the smuggling situation, about the custom personnel and the people that are placed in office to, work because they are role models, according to the facts, because of the position you occupy, and all the people that look up to you, you're supposed to be role models. And police brutality has been a case that has been on and on for a long time. The IGP, the Nigerian Police Force, has, come into play here when they forcefully took ownership, possession of a hotel for like 3 months, from August, I think, till it should be like 3 months or so, and they accumulated a debt of 649 million naira and refused to pay. And these are people that are supposed to protect lives and properties of individuals, of Nigerians. What's going on from the Nigerian Police Force? When would this end? What is your thoughts about the situation?
You know, Fela sang about it many years ago when he said something about authority, picked authoritatively, you know, and we are taught too, the absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yes.
The problem here is if you are law enforcement and you suddenly wake up and think that nobody can do anything, then it means that you either have a state within a state or some what do you call them, security agencies above the law. Okay, when this thing happened, it was because of Silva. Sure, Silva should be the one made to pay the money.
I actually wanted to. I was expecting
You know,
to say more.
because
So,
Silva should be made to pay the money.
well, first, let's handle the fact that this.
Now, first of all, you go into
yes.
a man's look, not with some understanding. Not that the man said, okay, you can use my place. Maybe insecurity in Opunembe, as the case may be, is such that we need to participate as a business in ensuring that we can sleep with our two eyes closed.
During the election
Now,
period.
you brought them in there for your own interest. Because there was a time that Opunembe was on the front burner. Everything possible was having Opunembe. You know? Because you have Opunembe, if you understand that terrain very well, you have Uglumabri and Basambri.
I just know it's a riverine area.
So,
I don't know much about
and
them.
just the same people separated by a bridge, but every time there's a fight going on. Now, this, and it was, that Upunembe thing was supposed to be Silva's strong base.
And
You
he
know?
invited them.
And he brought in the police. So, if the police, now tell me, is it that gives the police that right to go into a community and take over somebody's private structure, a business, and use it as a command office? And then when you are done, you just move. Sweet police, you know, and then you walk away, you know. So this is the thing. And we are told in this country that police is your friend. How friendly has this act become? But we will see whether they will talk, whether the IGP. I remember many years ago when we were small, a court in Port Harcourt invited the Inspector General of Police there. But that was then, and those people obeyed the law. This IGP won't come more. Although he has lawyers, because if he doesn't come
So
as a
he
person,
will not. He will not. Come.
Oh yeah, let's take a bet.
So
He will not go there.
rather send legal representative.
Yes, of course, legal representation. But in a system that works, when you are invited, you go there. Go there. So that when you are also enforcing the law, we can know that you are enforcing the law responsibly. You know, so this is the thing. We are in search of a society that is kind, gentle, that's responsible, responsive, and cares about these people. You know, this is not a very good commentary for the police, no matter what. I think that some of the money that you're talking about there might include damages. Not that they were, if they ate that amount of money, those policemen, we should send them in for surgery. So now, but something is going on there. There's some punitive request, you know, that's on the table, that because you use my facility the way you did, you need to pay me so much. But that will be up to the courts to determine whether that amount of money is what the hotel owner deserves or not. But the law must protect the weak, protect the strong. In this instance, I think the judge in Bayelsa, who took up this matter and who has invited the IG, has done right. And you see that they created a loophole for the IG. It's either you come in person or you come via a legal representative. So the police certainly would dispatch people.
Okay, Chink, I wanted to ask for the IGP and the Nigerian police force to actually make this move by forcefully taking possession of this hotel, this motel owned by a personal individual. Do you think that accommodation was not made necessary for them by Timothy Silva, right? Before they could actually make this move, because they were invited. So will the court also have to call Timothy to order or invite someone like
now,
they have
the
IGP to this case?
The juristic person that has been sued is the police.
What about reasons? I'm not justifying their actions. I am not. But there were reasons why they had to take this step.
In those
accommodation would probably not be provided for them to
because if you are bringing them in and you don't have accommodation, you should have tents. Okay, but it's against Nigerian law for a group of men in uniform to take over private property that belongs to someone and use it the way they like, and then we'll walk away. You know, I find it very absurd. Okay, but the author, excuse me, of what has happened is to me, who was governor at a given time, and whose governorship ambition knows no limit. And I don't know that kind of power that I'm looking for. That will turn me so mad as it has turned to me. You know? Go out there in Bayelsa. Most of his friends, those who trusted him many years ago, are all gone. They're all gone. Because there's a limit. There should be a limit to the way we conduct matters affecting us and others.
Okay. Okay, so you are on the side that the court should summon the Nigerian police force instead, because they orchestrated this situation that happened, and not Tini should not be.
I don't know why I don't know why Silva is not joined in the matter.
Okay.
But I do know that the act was committed by the police. Because
of the fact that they committed this act, they are the and they incurred the death.
And they could be identified.
Okay.
It was not Silva who occupied the hotel.
Okay.
Although, you know, there's a saying by the antelope, there's not a man who shot him, the hunter that shot him, that he blames.
Okay.
It is that man who told the hunter, don't let this antelope go.
Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you so much. Amidst the increase in number of bullying cases across primary and secondary schools nationwide, the Federal Ministry of Education on Wednesday announced plans to launch a platform where whistleblowers can report cases of bullying anonymously. Dr. Maruf Alausa made this known during a press briefing in Abuja. Alausa, who expressed deep concern over the rising cases of bullying, violence, and other vices in secondary schools across the country, emphasized the devastating impact of this. And then there were this Cameroon situation that she passed based on the psychological effects, the way Sylvester died, the way the fact that the family did not get justice for the situation, and probably they did not have what's the word? They did not have the capacity to fight that killed Sylvester. Their family members were of the hierarchs, because reports had that they flew those boys out of the country when this incident occurred, you know, and whatnot. And there has been several cases of bullying in schools where sometimes you see students, they get scared to go to school. They don't want to go to school. You'll be like, what's going on? I don't want to go to school. Some of them drop out of school. Some of them emotionally start draining down. Some psychologically start draining down. And you really don't know, you know, when all of this will stop. And the sad thing is sometimes it gets to a point where the teachers might actually know and not do something about it. But the federal government have decided to launch a whistleblowing platform that will allow parents and students to report the situation of bullying anonymously, you know, to curb this thing of bullying in school. Do you think this is a right step? Yes, it's actually a right step. But what is your thoughts about this, please?
I think that we need to protect the kids, the leaders of tomorrow, and also to serve valid examples of what life really out there is. I went to a boarding school, and I benefited from it because I learned how to live outside parental control.
Okay.
I learned how to be disciplined, living within the school system. But these days, we have parents. Now, parents will come to school when the teachers call and say, It doesn't matter how high your parents were. They will come to school and they will stand by the authorities. These days, they have mothers and fathers who say, you don't know how I gave birth to this child. If you punish him again, in a school, high school, like Queen's College, a teacher's hair was, in this country, they barbed her hair for trimming the hair of a youngster who shouldn't come to school with long hair. So if you are a teacher in a highbrow school where parents are the law, they pay the money that pays you, and they don't want you to do anything about the discipline of their children, what will you do? Okay? Now, you just alluded that the youngster who died, the mother just passed on. Of course. That would be too much. Okay? Now you're talking about bullying. Who are the bullies? Okay, how do we have these things in school? Many years ago here, under that George administration, they told us about the existence of white bishops. Can you imagine the finding? White bishops in primary schools. Calls. White bishops.
White bishops.
White
A
bishops.
cult group.
Small boys. But look at their fine name. White bishops. Now, we have a system that has grown right from the university level down. Their parents belong to fraternal groups that in local parlance were called cults. And their children went to school and created their own cult groups. Those boys who shoot people in school, do they have the enforcers? Are children of the poor. They get in the system, they have the money to buy it and give it to them to go and operate. And they operate, it gets to a point where the operator now controls and says, if you let the give me the talk, sir, I will blow your head. Everybody's on the run. Now, that is the thing. So I think getting to obtain information, that's what whistleblowing is all about. Obtain information early enough in order to deal with matters of violence and bullying. There's, I think, again, another right step. I hope it is not abused. Now, but we must do what we can. You know, the educational system must be protected. The youngsters who go through education in Nigeria must be protected. And the quality of instruction coming just from should be such that it also makes the youngsters who are growing under teachers to understand that this way of life, isn't it? Okay? But these children now who are engaged in bullying believe that their parents are high up, that they are above the law in school, that they can do anything, and they have the support of their parents. All they don't need to do is go and tell your father, this teacher doesn't like me. Can you imagine a situation where a teacher will say, you know that your child is a bad child, but you will never agree in public. You know, and what are you creating? You are creating a monster that will, because, okay, you saw what happened in America recently. Somebody who comes from a very good, big family, shooting somebody, a CEO. And people are like, how? How did the son of this great family kill a CEO? You know, that's the thing. Because you nurture these people and they are bullying people in school. They are using the internet, you know. A lot of things goes on. You're a lady now, somebody from nowhere takes a picture of just identify something that looks like you and say, look, if you don't, I'll paste this on the internet. And everybody's shouting. That's the thing. We must do something about it, and I think that is the right thing to do, you know, in order to control values, you know, ensure that our children are protected. We can't continue to run like a country that has no direction.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much in your thoughts. I really appreciate your presence here today. It was a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blowout. We are open for advert placement.